Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Idiot Box Podcast. My name is Ray, and these are my co-hosts Hannah
Yeet, yeet.
and Adam.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. We are back with another recap of this season's Bachelorettes. We are on the finale part 1, but honestly, I think we all can agree that this finale should have been one episode because this episode was like kind of a waste. Like we didn't need to sit down with Zach. We didn't need to sit down with Aven, to be honest, because they didn't bring any drama.
Yeah.
But
Next week is
let's
3
describe.
hours.
No, how?
Why?
What do we have
5
to talk about for
hours.
3 hours?
5
hours to tell us
whole
nothing.
hours about 2 men.
That's insane. That's like
Should be a
actually
federal
insane.
crime.
I feel attacked. Let's start by doing our 3 words. Who wants to go first? Hannah, maybe?
I can go first. So my 3 words of this episode are, let's just date.
Gag.
Period.
Facts.
Yep.
Facts. That's what everyone wants to do.
Everyone wants.
What about you, Adam?
My 3 words are boo-hoo, Rachel. Boo-hoo.
Amen.
Because the entire episode, everyone is making it seem like Rachel is this victim. And I know we're gonna get into it, so I'm gonna hold my breath. Like it just
Girl.
It blows my mind. Oh, what do you got, Ray?
My 3 words my 3 words were, where's the drama? Because the whole fucking episode, all of last episode, you have Jesse coming on with like the studio being in shambles before the live segment.
Yeah, wait,
I blocked that from my memory.
But that didn't even lead to anything.
Yes, exactly. They made it seem like this was going to be the most dramatic thing that we have ever seen. But here's the thing, baby. I've been watching reality TV for over 10 years. That was probably one of the least dramatic finales I've ever seen in my life. And I know we still have another part, and I'm sure that part will be more dramatic. But don't tell me
someone better die. Like,
catch on fire.
Get
pregnant.
Need some arson. Need some arson here. Oh my God.
Pregnancy.
Pregnant.
She's pregnant.
I want Rachel to be pregnant. I want that.
I love it. That's good television.
Thank you.
Gosh.
That's the drama we're looking for.
Make it happen, Jesse. Make it happen.
Oh my God. All right. So the most dramatic moment ever, even though, again, this episode was not dramatic. What was kind of dramatic was Rachel's breakup with Aven. We have a lot to talk about when it comes to Rachel this episode because she played Zach as well, but like basically Rachel broke up with Aven for being a rational human who over and over again said he saw a relationship with her. He wanted to have a relationship with her outside of the show, but he just wasn't ready to get proposed literally in a week, which I know we've talked a lot about that, but the way that he specifically was like describing how he feels about Rachel versus like getting ready to get engaged made so much sense. It was so logical. It was so like, he made sure to make it very clear how serious he took the relationship. He literally was like, I want to make sure that we both are in a place where this makes sense for us right now. He's like, I would rather leave this with you, date in real life, get to know you for real, fall all the way in love with you, fall fully in love with you, and then we could get engaged and get married like almost immediately. But I want to make sure this is right. And Rachel like could not take that. And I have a lot of theories as to why personally, but I want to hear what you were thinking first, Hannah. Tell me what you thought about Rachel this episode and how she treated Aven specifically.
She was a big dumb bitch. A multitude of reasons.
I'm gagged.
Like, I just like I don't want to be I've said it from the beginning. I don't want to be a Rachel hater, but I'm a hater to my core. And
yes,
I just feel like you couldn't watch this episode and be a fan of Rachel. If you are, you're lying to yourself.
I don't think Rachel watched this and was a fan of her.
We saw her reaction. She wasn't a fan of
her. We saw it on her face.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it was deeply humiliating. Like to have to not only watch Rachel in the moment of the scene, but then watch Rachel react to it. Yes, Raven.
Real quick, imagine like your shittiest moment as like a friend or as a person being videotaped and then being shown to America. Like that's what we saw from Rachel because she was like
Oh,
so shitty. And
Okay,
like
jeez.
new
I'm thinking about
reality show idea. Like, could we make that
I think
happen?
I think that is what reality TV is, if I'm being honest.
Honestly, yeah. But like I
At
want
its
a
core.
live reaction box in the corner at all times so I can see how they're reacting
Oh,
modern day.
like
When they're
That's
months
not.
such
later,
a
they
good
have to
idea.
watch it
Yeah.
back.
That's
Yeah.
such a good
And like
idea.
and they have to be surrounded by people that they know in real life, like their friends and stuff who were not on the reality show, and they have to like own up to it and just like go, oh, that's $1 million idea, you guys.
Write it down.
I
Write
But
it
want
down.
that. Sorry, go ahead, Anna.
not what
Continue.
we're here for. So let's see. So the gist, in case you haven't watched it, is that Aven got to meet Rachel's friends and family, and before he came in, Rachel told everybody that he is ready to be proposed. Is that English? He
We're
said,
doing our best.
I Rachel said that he is ready to propose to her. He is ready to take the leap of faith. All these good, great, fun things. And then when Aven is alone with her friends, he says, like, I see my future with Rachel. I want to be with Rachel, but I am not ready to propose. Probably. I'm ready to be engaged, just like maybe not in a week at this time. Like, I want to be engaged to Rachel, just down the line, like a normal human being who's only spent probably consecutively 12 hours with somebody.
So
But
real. So normal.
Rachel's BFFs saw that, and the girl, the friend, lady friend, said like it was a logical. It seemed logical. Our boy
Gay
Nate, I
bestie. Gay
believe,
Hey,
bestie
bestie.
was
gay
messy as fuck.
bestie Nate,
Everybody
gay
needs a gay
bestie
bestie.
Nate said toxic. He said, I'm going to blow this shit up. Personally, I loved it.
Absolutely. He's watched the
Absolutely
show
here for
before.
it.
He knew what his job
Oh,
was.
he knew what he was doing. He was taking notes. He knew what to do. He should be the host of The Bachelor.
Yes.
Because he would stir the pot, and I respect that. So after all the things get wrapped up, the friends tell Rachel what was said, and Rachel immediately is just gobsmacked. She's like, how in the hell? I'm going to kill him. I'm going to cut off his penis. And she decides to go after him. And they talk about it later. She's like, why would you say that? Beep boop bop. And he's like, girl, I'm obsessed with you. I'm in love with you. I want to be with you forever. But I don't think we should propose right now. We've only known each other for 12 hours. As a normal person would say.
Rational.
And Rachel took that as the highest form of sin, that Aven was coming for her throat and hated her and never loved her and wants her dead and thinks that she's disgusting and all these crazy fucking things. When all Aven said was, I'm obsessed with you. I want to be with you forever. I think we should just go home and like date first. And so we can like, when we get engaged, it can be like
Everything.
real.
Yeah, real. That's the perfect
And
word.
yeah. What did y'all get from it?
So I think it's really important to note that like this fully unraveled during this episode because Rachel felt invalidated by her family. And I wrote down in my notes, I was like, look,
Ooh.
I don't really trust people that are super, super, super close to their family. And it's because like I just
I
feel like
agree.
sometimes that closeness comes from a weird place. And you saw it with Rachel where Rachel felt invalidated by her close friends and her family at that moment because she felt like she had told them something that was then proven wrong by Aven saying, hey, I don't want this. And
Mhm.
it meant more to her that there was that slight miscommunication with her family than Aven and her seeing anything on the same page after that. It did not matter. After that
Yeah.
moment, it did not matter.
Didn't
And
matter what he said.
I feel bad for Aven because
Me too.
I mean, my 3 words were going to be dodge the bullet, but I changed it. But I do think Aven dodged a bullet because at the end of the
Amen.
day,
Absolutely.
like Rachel's not ready. Rachel's
Mm-mm.
not ready. I hope she doesn't end up with Tino. I hope Tino gets away from this too because girl's got to work on herself. Girl's got to figure it out. But I just think that Aven really did try, and there was nothing that he could have said after her being invalidated by her family because it was too late after that. So I've real quick before I'll let you go, right? But I have never felt more uncomfortable watching television than watching Aven sit down on that couch and all of them just go like, "So, oh, this is Aven," yeah, and Aven's like, "Oh yeah, this is me," and then
They 1,000
like,
they 1,000% didn't know he was black. I'm just being real. They 1,000% did not know
yep,
he was black, and that's
Amen.
exactly what it was.
Amen. Retweet.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. So I was
Mm,
uncomfortable for everyone.
Me too.
absolutely. So I have a lot of things. I agree with everything you guys
Yeah.
said. For one, I think what I got out of it the most is that we already knew this, but Rachel is just fake because,
Yeah.
and this kind of
Mm-hmm.
goes back to like the whole Zach situation too, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But I think she was looking for excuses to break up with her other guys because she didn't have any. She didn't have a good reason to break up with Zach because from all that we saw, it was all sunshine and rainbows and beautiful skies, and they're gonna get married and have little boring children together, and it'll be so cute.
Fly on planes.
Um, while watching planes.
Not even just watch them.
Just watch
Just
that.
watching planes. And then with Aven, like she said it to her family. She was like, he's the or like to her friend. She said it. She's like, he's the guy you choose. Like if you don't choose him, you're an idiot. Like because he seems
She said
perfect.
on
He's
paper he's perfect.
yes,
She
and
said
he's
that.
super good looking.
On
He seems
paper.
very nice. They actually showed us a lot more of his personality this episode, and he's still boring, but he seems like a really just like good, normal, emotionally intelligent person. Like I have nothing bad to say about him as a person. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but Rachel was looking for an excuse because I'm so sorry. I watched the episode twice, so I saw this. I saw this both times. She was doing everything she could to just break up with him, with Aven. It didn't
Amen.
matter what Aven said. He was swearing his love to her like multiple times, literally saying, "I'm trying to fight for this. I want to fight for this. I don't want you to think that this means I don't want to be with you. I want to be with you. I want to leave here with you." And she would just respond with, "But why would you say that to my
You
friends
don't want
then?
an engagement.
Like
You embarrassed
you're not
me in front of my family. That's what she was
you,
saying under all
You
her
like
won't marry
bullshit.
me in 6 weeks.
it was insane, guys. It was insane to listen to. It was insane to watch. It was so cringy because everything that he was actually saying to her should have made her be like, okay, like let me at least hear him out. Because if we rewind to last week with Gabby and Jason, when Jason told Gabby that he wasn't ready to be um, engaged, that he wasn't ready to propose. Like, yes, Gabby was taken aback for a second, but then she heard him and was trying to still go to the fantasy suite to talk to him to like see where their relationship could be because she, even though she wants to be engaged, saw his perspective, saw how this might be difficult for him to propose in this setting, and still saw a potential future with him outside of this. So she tried to go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel didn't even try. So if Rachel really felt the way that she was trying to make us feel she feels about Aven, if that sentence made any sense, then she would have tried to make it work in some way. She would have tried
Yeah.
to talk it through with him, but she refused. She was so adamant about this breakup. When she
Yeah.
goes to see him, I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but when she finally goes to see him for their like final date, she like walks in. He's like, hey, I know we have a lot to talk about tonight. But, like, do you want to have a glass of champagne? Like, he's trying to like be normal with her, and she's like, I think we should just start talking. I think we should just get
We
right
should say
into it.
no.
She
And
was ready to just
he was
break up.
Break up.
yes, she they even Jesse tried to make it seem like, oh, this is Aven's last shot. Aven did give it a shot. Like Aven, it's not like Aven. She walked in there and Aven like gave up. Like he was literally basically begging her not to break up with him, and
Mm-hmm.
her mission going into that room was to break up with him. Like there was no alternative. There was nothing he could have said that would have changed it. Besides,
And
I want to marry you tomorrow.
as soon as she got the words, she like caught him. He said, I got caught up in things.
Mm-hmm.
And she
Ooh,
caught it. She
yeah.
was like, oh, that's it. That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
Thank you
out.
for saying
That's my
that. This
out.
is my
Yeah.
out. I am fucking out of here. And she
Mm-hmm.
was just waiting for him to slip
Mm-hmm.
up. At this point,
Yeah.
there is nothing Aven could have done. Nothing.
No, and like she even said it like before they even had that final date,
Mm-hmm.
when she just caught wind of what Aven said to her friends, she said, and I quote,
And she closed.
I am not coming out of this not engaged.
The
Mm-hmm.
engagement monster herself.
What? That is literally insane to say that. Like, how performative can you be?
Mhm.
Like, I will not come out of this not engaged. Like, okay, Satan. Like, how can you see that far in the future? Like, don't you just maybe want to be in love or something, or have someone love you
No,
back? Like,
literally,
okay,
Doesn't
literally.
matter
but
to her. It doesn't
I mean,
matter to
okay,
her.
it doesn't.
She
And so I
just
have a few little
ugh.
points I wanted to say.
Let's do
One,
it.
Aven says, so let's think back to last week when Zach says unauthentic.
Mhm.
Oh god.
Aven says, I'm not inconfident in us. Not unconfident. He said
They switched.
inconfident.
They switched the
They
prepositions.
switched. They
They
switched.
did
He
in
said,
and un, but they switched them.
what kind of uneducated assholes are these men? Like, I'm
Zach and Aven
obsessed.
are the
And
same
then
person split into two bodies.
it makes so much sense why they're both so boring.
Hold on. Let's go back to what Ray said.
That's exactly. Hannah gets it.
He's sticking by his point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm here for it. I understand exactly where your head's at, and I'm there with you. They are the same person, different fonts. And then I really liked how Aven said when they were, I believe it wasn't the final date, it was when they were just kind of like fighting after the hometown. He said like maybe it was the final date. It was. He was like, no, I don't think it was. I don't know. It doesn't matter. He goes, I need you to know I want to be here with you before I walk away. Like, can you
Yes.
imagine? That is so like reassuring. Like, I
Yes.
need you to know before I walk away from you that I want to be with you. Like,
A-
like
Aven is so
if
emotionally
someone
mature.
said that to me, I would be
You
like,
did everything right.
are we gonna spend the rest of our lives together? Like, are we meant to
Should
be?
should we get out of here? Should we get out of here?
Should we just
Like
go make some children right now or something? Like, I
go
mean,
back to the fantasy
all
suites.
literally all Rachel has wanted this whole season is reassurance. She has wanted someone to confidently say,
Validation.
yes, she's a validation queen, she's a validation whore, and she has it. And she just completely is like, I will not sacrifice what I want to be with you.
I don't see
What
it.
you fucking want is a man to love you. And Aiden is a puppy dog bowing at your feet, and you're like, skirt, no, I don't want it anymore. You might as well have just sent Zach and Aven home at the rose ceremony, kept your boy Tino, and just not put Aven through this psychological torture. He
Not
literally
wasted
in
his
such a
time.
exactly, and like such a broken voice. He was like, I failed. Like I
Yeah.
Oh
it
my
was.
gosh, I felt so bad.
I was like,
I
damn.
was
He was
so
like
sad.
broken. Do you
But
I was
like
think
like,
it's
that Rachel
literally
just chose Tino at the beginning and then it's just been that and like she's dead
yes,
set on it
yes,
and it
literally
doesn't
that.
matter?
yes,
Like
Absolutely.
hundred
I have
like
the.
percent.
nobody else can enter the like sphere that is her brain. Like that's it.
Yeah, it
Yes.
is. She sees so black and white. It's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Well, clearly
deeply
not black because she
embarrassing.
sent Aven home. So
Gagged.
Skirt.
So here's the thing. From the beginning, Rachel, and we've said this literally almost every single episode. Rachel is obsessed with being the Bachelorette every step of the way. The only
Yes.
reason
yeah,
she was hurt by the guys rejecting her, the guys that mind you she didn't like that much rejecting her,
Mm-hmm.
is because it made her look bad as the Bachelorette. This I said this from the beginning of Avon's date. I said to be honest,
episode
this is
1 we've been talking about this.
I said, to be honest, this is 1000% a Bachelorette performance. Like, this is fake. I'm talking the entire thing with Aven. Maybe she did like
The
him. I'm not
panic
saying that
attack.
all of it was fake. And the reason I knew what sold it for me that it was fake is that as soon as she broke up with him, the smile that inched across her face at like while she's still crying, while she's still putting her big
Ew.
tears, the way she made herself cry. And I don't care what anyone says. And you know what? I know people are like, well, you don't know actually what's going on in that person's mind. No, she
I
made herself
fucking
cry.
do.
She made herself cry.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen reality TV
Amen.
enough times to tell you when someone is fake crying or not. And that girl
You
was fake crying.
guys you guys remember when she left the room, right? And her and Aven
Yes.
hugged and said goodbye. She
And she
like
smiled.
smiled.
She smiled.
And I was like, is this girl a psychopath? Like it
She's
was
a
like such a genuine
psychopath.
happy smile. Like it didn't I was so confused if I had like missed something. Did I miss a scene?
She was
Because
like,
she was like
and scene.
and
Scene.
scene. Thanks. Aven, you did a great job in that scene.
Even thank you so
Literally.
much.
Thanks for coming.
I
I
was blown away.
Oh,
she's fake. She's fake. She's fake.
She's as fake as
Um,
those lip fillers she got in the live.
called out. I love it.
Called out, bitch.
Okay, let's like do a little and go into a good old fun game that I kind of hate now because I'm losing.
okay.
Um,
All right, we need to
called
talk
Adam
about this.
Asks. We're gonna
This
we're gonna
is
go into Adam Asks.
previously, this is your favorite segment, and you know it. So,
Then why am I
all
losing?
right. Welcome to Adam
Ew.
Asks, the trivia-based segment where Adam makes the rules and the points clearly matter. I'm your host, Adam. Right now, the score is Hannah at 8 points. It's all clap
Is it
for
Easy.
Hannah.
I'm not
She has at
clapping.
8.
Hannah's
Ray
at eight.
has a measly 7 points.
Idiot.
All right.
You know what?
So
You're supposed
I'm gonna let you guys decide who goes first. There's 3 questions. One is for one of you. This next one's for another one, and then the last one's for both of you. Who wants to go first? Because I'm doing it in my order, and they are different difficulties.
Yikes. Hannah can go first.
I'll go first. Bitch, baby.
Okay.
Baby back, bitch.
Hannah.
Baby
Hannah,
bitch Ray.
how many pillows were on the couch that Aven and Rachel sat on at the end of the episode when they broke up? I have
Literally,
multiple
Adam, go
choice.
fuck yourself. Go
I
fuck
have
yourself.
multiple
That
choice.
was my
Multiple
answer.
choice. Multiple
You're
choice.
a psychopath. Okay, give
A-
it to me.
That's hard.
A2, B4, and C6.
4.
The correct answer is 6. That is an
Fuck
incorrect
gagged.
me.
answer.
That
from
is
Hannah.
I'm
so
gagged.
fucking stupid, Adam. I hate you.
That's Hannah's first incorrect answer on this
Because
segment.
that was a
She has-
stupid
She has
question.
never gotten a question wrong, and she
Well,
did today.
I-
Ray, your turn. How many bouquets of roses are surrounding Jesse and the Bachelorettes on the live stage? The options are
Girl,
You're a
what?
psychopath. You're sick in the head, Adam.
I'm not
You're
sitting
sick in the
watching this
head.
counting things.
options are 3, 5, or 7.
I'm gonna go with 5.
The answer is 5. Congratulations, Ray. You have tied it up. All right,
I
this
Game
was
no
one,
longer has any
100% guessed.
merit.
this one, only one of you can get correctly, and it's the first one to say it wins. And it was said in this episode, and you guys also probably heard something about it. Here we go. What is Zach's last name?
Slosh or schlock? Slosh? I don't know how to pronounce it, to be honest. Sloths? It's like slosh. Slosh?
Slitherall.
Oh no, it's Shawcross?
You're close.
Shawcross? Shawcross?
Yeah, Shawcross. The answer is Shawcross. Congratulations, Ray. Ray has taken the lead with 9 points to Hannah's 8.
Adam Asks is my favorite segment.
Thank you for coming to Adam Asks. Please tune in next week for another episode or segment.
No, before we leave, I literally went back
to Adam Asks. Welcome back.
Adam's Asks. I literally went back and like wrote down the names of Gabby's family members. Like, okay, Dad is Patrick, Aunt Julie, Grandpa John. Preparing for these questions, I was like, that's what he's gonna ask. And then you ask about pillows.
You gotta think about it from my perspective. I'm trying to come up with stuff. I have to come up with 3 questions every episode, so I'm constantly like counting things and looking at things and so like I was like, oh, there's a bunch of pillows on that couch. Let me just like ask them how many.
You deserve jail.
A bunch of roses, and I was like, oh, there's like 5 bouquets. Let me ask them.
Oh my god.
I'm officially the number 1 hater of Adam's Ask. We can move on.
It changes every week, so that's okay. Oh, that was wonderful.
Okay.
That's so funny.
Well,
wait, Ray, never mind. You guys are Ray did get 2
no,
right.
I have 9.
Yeah, he got
Come
2.
on. Don't attack me.
Sorry, I'm trying to. All right. We're
Thanks,
good.
Adam.
We're good. Raising the lead with
Look
9.
out.
Thank you for coming. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Thank you, Adam, for another riveting episode of Adam Asks.
It was
Let's
dysfunctional, but we're all right.
Let's slide into the uncomfy moments of the episode. And before I dive into the uncomfy moments, I want to talk about a racist moment. And I'm not going to call it an uncomfy moment because it's not uncomfy. It's fucking racist. And that's just what it is. So for background, so that people understand, Eric, Gabby's only guy left, he recently has been there's been a photo circulating of Eric from high school of him dressed as Jimi Hendrix wearing blackface, and the school printed this in the yearbook, and so it exists. It is a published piece of work, and I guess someone on Reddit, most likely because it's always Reddit, found it, and he issued an apology, which I'm going to read. Give me one moment to find it because I just had it up and it's gone. Here it is. Okay, so he wrote, "I wholeheartedly apologize for the insensitive photo of me in blackface from my high school yearbook that has been circulating. What I thought at the time was a representation of my love of Jimi Hendrix was nothing but ignorance. I was naive to the hurtful implications of my actions to the black community and those closest to me. And will forever regret my offensive and damaging behavior. I am deeply ashamed of my actions and understand that my apology is only the first step in taking accountability." So, I think on the surface, that is a reasonable and accountable apology. But I really want white people to understand that when you do something racist, you need to name it as racist. Don't name it as uncomfortable or insensitive or or
Ignorant.
wrong or ignorant. Name it what it is, because there's so many white people who don't understand that that is racist, who don't think that it's that big of a deal. You need to call it what it is, and if you're going to take accountability for it, you need to fully take accountability for it. A lot of white people are so afraid of being racist that they refuse to call out their own racism where it is, or call out their friend's racism where it is. It doesn't mean that Eric is a bad person. I don't think that Eric sucks now. I'm not like anti Eric. I don't want Gabby to not end up with Eric. That's not my opinions on Eric haven't changed. But what I will say is that, like, if you can't admit fault in the way that it actually was, then you're a part of the problem. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
in you. We
Yeah.
don't need an explanation as to why you dressed up as blackface. It doesn't matter. You dressed up as blackface, and it was what 11 years ago. That was 2011, I think it was. It came when his high school yearbook was printed. I'm sorry, blackface has been known to be a bad thing well before 2011. And I understand that if you actually, I don't understand, but I can see that maybe you didn't understand that that was a bad thing at the time.
But you
However,
know it
as
is
an
now.
adult, you know it is now. Exactly. Like, don't give me an excuse.
Don't excuse it. Yeah.
Don't tell me why you got to the conclusion that you got to.
Yeah.
Say what you did was racist and call it a goddamn day. And
Yeah.
I know they're gonna have to bring this up at the next finale. Most likely, I will be actually shook if they didn't bring it up. But I hope that when he's on that stage, he's like, "What I did was racist. I am not racist. I am not those actions that I did in the past. I wholeheartedly apologize, and I am doing better in the future." Just a little mini segue. The other night, me and Adam watched an episode, not an episode, a movie called Emergency, and a lot of things
Great
happen in
movie.
the movie. Very great movie. A lot of things happen in the movie, but one of the storylines was that this white girl was clearly seeing the perspective, like seeing these two black guys and this Hispanic dude as like dangers, and it was coming off a little racist when she was talking about it. And at the end of the movie, she comes up to them with like a little note apology, and she like starts to read it, and the guys just close the door in her face, because those types of apologies don't do anything for black people. That apology that Eric gave was not an apology for black people. It was an apology to white people
For
so that white
him.
people can feel better about still supporting him since he's on The Bachelorette. When, if he really cares about the issue, if he really thinks that what he did was wrong, he should name what he did and name it as it was, which was racist. I don't think that Eric is a racist, but his actions were racist.
Yeah.
Say it.
It's not
Call it out.
ignorance. Like, you were ignorantly racist. Like, you could
Yeah.
maybe say
Yeah.
that at most, but like, it's not just ignorance. You can be ignorant about like science. That's not what
Yes.
you were. Like, you can be ignorant about a lot of things. That's just not knowing. There's a difference between not knowing and defining what you were in that moment. And
Yes.
it's disappointing that he didn't do that. And Like now, even if he turns around and does do it, it's not. He missed
It's
the
not the same. He
opportunity.
missed he
Yeah.
missed the mark, and it was also everyone makes jokes about these like notes app apologies that people post on Instagram, and he didn't do that, but he did like an Instagram post with like a black box, which is like, "Girl, black box, really? We back in 2020?" Um,
Did he really? Was it actually a black box?
it was a
Yeah.
black box, yeah.
It's a black box.
Wow.
Um, very stupid if I'm being honest. I like the more I think about it, the more I'm like, that was the choice. But if you really want to, if you're really like trying to get in front of this homeboy, you should have gotten on camera and been like, this is a mistake, or this was a mistake. I am not this person anymore. It was racist. I apologize for being a racist.
He should
And I
have
would have
done
been
a
like,
video.
awesome. No, that's what I'm saying. You should have gone on
Yeah.
Yeah,
camera and done that.
absolutely.
But
Yeah. Like he fucked
whatever.
up. Yeah.
He fucked up. He fucked up. I don't hate him for it. We're gonna still talk about him like it's normal. Like it's all good in the hood. But but Eric is on his journey of healing, as most white people who do something racist say. So good luck on that journey, Eric. We see
Good
you
luck,
and we
brother.
support you.
Good luck.
All right, let's get into the uncomfy moments. Let's just, since we're already talking about Eric, let's just talk about his little date with Gabby and meeting his family. It was very sweet, really wholesome. Give me your thoughts, Adam.
I thought it went really well. I really enjoyed Grandpa John,
Love him.
Grandpa for Bachelor. Like absolutely, like what an absolutely outstanding gentleman. The quote that he told me, or that he told Gabby, he told me too. He told me.
He
He
told all of
said
us.
he said it's got to be 90-90, not 50-50. And I think that was the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. It's like, when you're with somebody, you have to give more than 50% of yourself. You have to give
Mhm.
90% of yourself while they're giving 90% of themselves. It's a lot of work, but that's how you make that work. And it was beautiful. I thought Gabby's aunt gave her amazing advice when Gabby was
Such good
crying because she
advice.
felt
Such good
unlovable. And
advice.
Gabby's aunt was talking about how, you need to be vulnerable with him. He needs to see every side of you if this is going to be the person that you're going to end up with. And
Yeah.
I thought it was
I
amazing.
rewatched that 3 times.
It
Yeah.
was like therapy for me. I was like, that's beautiful. Like I
It
I
was.
want to eventually be able to do that too with someone. And I think Gabby, coming from her family and her problems with her mother, I'm happy that she has family around her like that, because it does feel like she has family that loves her and supports her and gives really fucking good advice, honestly. So
Yeah.
and that's a
Truly.
lucky thing to have. So I thought it went really well. I thought Eric did great too. When he was talking with the dad and the stepmom and everything. So overall, like, I mean, really no drama, right? I mean, it just went well, right?
Yeah. Until we got
Yeah.
to the final date.
Before we go there, real quick, I wanted to say a couple of things. One thing that I loved is that when um, Eric was finally talking to, I think maybe maybe the mom or the dad. I mean, it was a dad. Yeah, it was the dad and her stepmom.
Yeah.
He was saying how like when he first met Gabby, he was like really intimidated by her because she was so
Yeah.
funny and she like picked at all his insecurities. And he like kind of talked about how like he grew to like love that, and it was like very endearing. And I love that because like I'm the type of person that if I really like you or if we're really friends, like I make fun of you, like I pick on you, like it's because like it just shows because like I love you that much. It's a definitely toxic, whatever, but
It's like you're
Gabby does it
comfortable.
too. Yes, I feel comfortable with you.
Right.
Gabby like does that to people that she's intrigued by. She like picks at them a little bit, like, and it grew on Eric, and I can totally see it. Like I really like them together. Um, one going back to the aunt thing, the reason that she was even talking about that with her aunt, or why her aunt gave her that good advice, is because she was saying how she was afraid that Eric might find her to be unlovable because she's so broken. Like if she feels like I think this is what I got. I feel like when like the feeling of falling in love for Gabby triggers the feeling of being unloved, because like as a
Yeah.
child
Yeah.
she felt unloved, and so finding love reminds her of the lack of love she had. So I
Yeah.
think that's what we've been seeing a lot of Gabby. Whereas like with Rachel, it's been a lot of like her reacting to things that don't even really make any sense. Whereas all of Gabby's like emotional breakdowns have been like coming from like a trigger, like a specific
Mm-hmm.
place, and she knows it and she's working on it. But I think Gabby's such a well-rounded human. She's not perfect. She's very imperfect, but that's kind of why I like her so
Yeah.
much.
She better be
And
on
I was
TV going
just
forward.
Amen. And like I was just so proud of Eric for being so like forthcoming with his feelings to her
Hmm.
family. Cause like
Yes.
I kind of thought he was gonna like clam up again and kind of be
Me
weird, like he
too.
does
Me
get. Cause I
too.
mean, that's his family is kind of weird. His family has an interesting dynamic. Like they're sweet, but it's like kind of like awkward, but like in a
I'll leave things
loving
unsaid a
way.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was a little nervous he was gonna like, because that's like a comfort zone for him. It's to, like kind of be a
Yeah.
little withholding. And I was nervous that's how it was gonna be, but he was so sweet. I was really impressed by how he behaved.
He was so open. I loved it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we want to get into, since we're already talking about Eric? You want to talk about the end night or the night portion of? I'm sorry, the final date,
The
right?
final date.
Give it to
So
us,
that's
Hannah. Give it to
they
us.
kept calling all of these things as the final date.
Yeah, it was
So pretty
confusing
much
me.
it was
What does that
stupid.
even mean?
Because it was just Gabby going into Eric's hotel room. That was the final date with the cameras,
Boring ass date.
and depending on if the cameras are there. Eric, Gabby is saying before she goes in, like I just need to know if he's like ready to propose, and if he's not ready to propose, I'm gonna think it's because of me. Um, and like just pretty much just saying like kind of Rachel esque shit about like I need to leave here proposed, like engaged, pretty much.
Hmm.
So she walks in there, and Eric is saying like all the nicest things. He's like, I truly love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Gabby is cheesing hard. And then somehow, maybe y'all can give me some clarity, because maybe I missed a second. Next thing I know, we're on the balcony and shit is falling apart left and right.
And
Do you
Praise
know,
God.
Aven?
yeah, I know what
You watched
happened.
it twice.
I did watch it
Yeah.
twice. So there's two big components here. When Eric is saying all these sweet things to her, he slips, and he does this a lot, which he needs to stop doing. He does like compliment sandwiches kind of, but he like hides his little things like in his conversation.
It's like a
So
little
like
jab. Yeah.
little mini jabs, and Gabby is smart enough to catch them in the moment when they happen. So what he said is that like he doesn't want them to feel pressured to like do anything that like doesn't feel authentic to them. He's like
Which is so
basically hinting at
pointed
the
toward
fact,
Gabby.
yes, but he
Yeah,
doesn't.
God
But he's
damn it.
also like, but like he also doesn't want to. He's also like making it clear that he doesn't want to get engaged. It's like kind of like, but he's not just saying it. And the other big component to this is that, and I watched this twice now. Gabby was 1,000% drunk, like 1,000%. She was falling all
Mm.
over.
Interesting.
She was falling over him. She was slurring on her words. She looked a little out of it in the eyes. And like the thing that
Oh
made me really
shit.
feel this way is that if you watch her little cam on the corner while they're like watching this live, she's literally like, oh, like she's like laughing at herself, like turning to Rachel, being like, like, because like at
Oh
one
my
point
god.
she
How did
says
I
something
miss
that
that? I'm so
doesn't that
stupid.
she says something, I can't remember the exact quote. She says something that doesn't make complete sense, and Eric is like, what do you mean by that? And she's like, I don't know. And then you see her in her little cam being like, oh my god, like literally like,
She says, I'm not the one proposing, but we have to see and listen to ourselves. I wrote that down because I was like, huh? And then Eric was like,
yes.
huh? And I was like,
Yes. And then I don't know. And then Gabby in real time is like, oh my god, like I don't know what I was
yeah.
even saying. Like
And
so
then,
I think,
She looks
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
phenomenal, by the way. Oh.
What were you about to say, Hannah?
Yeah, Gabby's perfect. She then says, so then Eric says to her, like, I want to be with you, but
Mm-hmm.
I want to date you. I want to be in your life,
I
but
want to leave here
usually
and I
that
want to
comes
date you.
before getting engaged. Like, why do we have to get engaged in order to be a part of each other's life? Is all Eric is
Mm-hmm.
saying. Just like Mr. Avon.
Mm-hmm.
And Gabby flees as she does. She's a runner. She's a track star. She fucking bolts it out the fucking door. And Eric's like, Gabby, and Gabby just doesn't hear him.
Run.
Now it's because
She's
she's
running.
drunk. I know now that she
She's
was
drunk.
drunk
She's
and
drunk.
That makes
wasn't.
so much
You know,
sense.
when you're laser focused when you're drunk and running, you got one mission in mind. And
And
so,
also anything can trigger you when you're drunk. Like any
yes,
small like misspoken word, if you're like dumb drunk, like can be like, what do you
We've
yes,
mean?
all been there. We've all been there.
Absolutely.
yeah. It
Because I
was
think my
just
What did he say?
Because on my second watch, I made sure to pay attention to the interview that was clearly done before she met up with Eric, and then the interview that was clearly done after she met up with Eric. And the one before, she's not drunk. She's she's not drunk in that one, and she's like basically explaining that she's like, even if I want to find out the answer, she's like, I want him to be honest with me. I want to know if like he's ready for this. And she's like, even if I don't like the answer, even if his truth is not what I want to hear, I want to hear it. I want to understand.
I just want clarity.
I just want clarity.
Yeah.
And then you fast forward and she's drunk. And when he doesn't, I think what was annoying to her and why she reacted the way she did is because he wasn't direct with her. And then she was also drunk because he wasn't like specifically saying like, hey, I'm not ready to be engaged just yet, but I really want to be with you. We've already been over this with Gabby last week. She clearly is okay potentially leaving here unengaged if it's with the right person, because she was thinking about doing that with Jason. So I genuinely think this was a Sorry, what did you say?
I believe it's in engaged. I talked to Aven.
Shut up. So I think she's either wants to. I mean, I think it was a combination of being too drunk and him not being direct with what he wanted, what he was trying to express to her. That is what made all of this happen, and I genuinely think that they're going to be fine, most likely.
When Gabby when Gabby was in the hallway, like talking to the producer, literally being like, "I heard what he said. He said he wants to leave here and date."
She's drunk.
Was Eric? No, but was Eric like right there?
Did he hear her?
That's what I'm saying.
He made it seem like he was
like he made it seem like he was right there, and like he was just. I think he was just like pointing at him, and Eric was just like, "What the fuck? Like, what is happening?"
Yeah.
This is what adds to her being drunk thing, because she was acting like a lunatic.
And on top of all of that, okay, so I will always choose a woman's side before a man's. I think everyone knows that.
Correct.
Where I think Gabby has kind of fucked up is, I mean, maybe we just haven't seen the conversation, but like, I think Eric truly believes that Gabby sent Jason home because she wanted Eric. And I think that it is shitty that Eric is under the impression that he is the last one on purpose. And he still doesn't know that Gabby went to the fantasy suite with Jason to try to convince him pretty much to stay.
Yeah.
And I think that is vital information that Eric deserves to know. Sorry, you go.
So I agree with you. I've been thinking about this, like, I've been thinking about that exact thing, like, since last week. Like, every day since last week, I've been thinking about that. And where I've come to, unless it becomes a storyline in this last finale, I think she did tell him off camera or explain it to him, and it didn't. Because, like, if that were the case, the show would bring that shit in. If
Eric took it well, they're not going to show us.
Exactly, because it doesn't matter. Like, if she didn't tell him and then Eric finds out later, they would bring that into the show. They'd bring that shit into the show. They would, because like they're clearly not protecting their leads anymore. They didn't give a fuck about Clayton. They're making Rachel look like a crazy person because she is.
Yep.
So if they can make Gabby look a crazy person too, they would do it.
That's true.
My guess is that they're just not showing us, because I do think I agree with you. I would also break up with her. That's insane.
Yeah, it's very misleading.
She also made it seem like to her family that, like, I only want you guys to meet Eric. And I'm like, girl, you know Eric's the only one left. Stop playing.
They made her say that. There's no way you would say that if you only had one guy left. That's not a normal thing to say.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to let the other guys stay in their rooms. I only want you guys to meet Eric.
Gagged. Let's move on over to our good friend Zach.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
Zach is boring. That's the biggest thing.
That's the segment. Thank you. We're moving on.
I wrote down for this part. I wrote down boring, nice white people being boring and nice, and I put Zach and Rachel's non-confrontation, because basically the big cliffhanger is that Zach tells Rachel that he wants to talk to her before the rose ceremony, and they walk outside. He basically says to her that he thinks that he didn't get to know the real Rachel or whatever like that, and she was like, "How dare you say that about me? Like, you're questioning my character." She actually didn't say that to his face. She says that to Tino.
She didn't say that to his face, and then Aven. She like goes and says that to Tino and Aven.
Yes.
She's a dramatic bitch.
Yes, it was a very amicable breakup. It was a very amicable breakup. Like, he was just like sad, and she was just like, "I'm sorry that I couldn't get there with you." And then she walks back inside to Aven and Tino and is like, He questioned my character, and I'm annoyed about it. But I'm gonna hand out these
And that's
roses.
really, she says, that's a really sad.
Yeah.
That is her breakup with Zach. That's really sad. Is it,
And then
Rachel Villain? Is it sad for you?
Rachel Villain. And then we fast forward to the live show, and Rachel and Zach are talking to each other. And like Zach is apologizing for questioning her character. Rachel's just
When he didn't.
apologizing for not. He didn't question her character because her first of all her character deserves to be questioned, and then second,
Correct.
he didn't really even do that because he could have called you fake to your face, and he didn't.
He's too
But
nice.
he didn't call her. I wanted
boring.
him at this live show to be like, you were fake to me. I didn't appreciate it. I hope you're happy with whoever you chose, but I think that was bullcrap. I wanted him to come with some fire, and he came to that live show with the most boring energy. Jesse Palmer was fucking pulling at
Pushing.
trying to get something out of them.
This is the hardest Jesse Palmer has ever worked in his whole life. It led to this moment, him trying to get Zach to talk shit on Rachel in front of Rachel at the live thing, and Zach was just like, I'm so sorry for how I acted. And it's like, you didn't do anything wrong, Zach. And then Rachel's like, Zach, I just really want you to know how much I cared for you. I wasn't accusing you of not being ready because of your age. I was just questioning if you were ready because of your age.
I asked all of them.
What she said.
I asked all of them the same thing.
Did you ask Tino? Oh, Tino,
I asked everybody.
30. Are you ready to get? I hate
bullshit. He's full of shit. I'm annoyed at Zach too, though, because he gave nothing. Like, this would have been I would have been like, all right, I'm on Zach's team now. He's fucking coming with fire. Like, he's on a reality TV show and he knows it. And like, Rachel knows she's on a reality TV show. I'll give her that. But Zach clearly is just still trying to be nice, and I hated it. It was so boring.
Zach's
on the second rewatch, I threw it.
Zach's like, I will always cherish the time we watched Planes together. That'll be, I'll tell my children about the time I watched Planes with Rachel. Ugh.
I will tell my offspring in the future about our first date at the fake movie premiere where we watched videos of ourselves and cried.
Yeah, imagine explaining that to somebody in the future. Like, it's
absurd.
I don't want to be on the first date that Zach has.
That way? Who knows why Zach was acting that way? Like he was a perfect little angel.
Because he's probably going to be the Bachelor. Because they were definitely giving him a stupid Bachelor edit that was annoying and no one needed or wanted.
Yep.
I hated it.
So painful. It was a Bachelor edit. And Reality Steve says it is the truth. That is my Hannah's Hideaway. Kind of. That he is. So Reality Steve, I think he said in his tweet, he was like, of course things can change up until the moment of. So we for sure will not know until Tuesday of next week. But right now, it will be Zach as the Bachelor. And I know I'm going to watch it, but I'm going to be freaking miserable watching it. Because he's just...
It might be boring. It might be so boring.
It will.
They have to cast the
girls,
right women.
Yeah, if the girls are like crazy and like wild, like Shanae and Victoria, Queen Victoria, like give me characters like that and we'll be fine.
They need 3 villains and they need 2 of them to last a really long time, and that's the only way that show is going to be good.
Because the end,
one of them in the final 3,
so
literally
boring.
one of them in the final 2. I want him picking between the villain of the season and America's Sweetheart.
I want one girl to literally like gaslight the shit out of him the entire season into thinking she loves him, but she doesn't.
Pilot Pete almost did that.
She figures it out.
Pilot Pete almost brought Victoria Fuller like literally to the final 2, and Victoria Fuller was gaslighting him the entire season.
Sorry, Zach. We're wishing pain upon you. We're wishing you pain.
Literally that. I'm sorry, but the only way we're going to have pain with a boring person is if, the only way we're going to have entertainment with a boring person is if there's pain involved. And I'm sorry.
Like, we need you to have pain.
It's not our fault.
He needs some pain in his life, honestly. I mean, this is probably good for him.
A little bit of sauce, a little bit of spice.
Yeah, make it more interesting.
Give him a reason to go to therapy.
Give him a story to actually tell his children, other than we watched Planes.
There we go.
Speaking of needs therapy, can we talk about Tino and how Tino and Rachel both, Tino the actor, Tino and Rachel both literally went out of their way to explain how they have nothing in common for 10 minutes. Like
it was so uncomfy.
Like literally Rachel's mom asked Tino, like, So what do you guys have in common? What are you guys gonna do together? And he was like, well, I don't expect her to go surfing with me. I don't expect her to do this with me. We'll find things together that we enjoy. And
We'll
then
figure it out.
we'll figure it out. That's what he said. When Rachel's dad asked Rachel the same question, she's like, I would love to learn how to surf. I like we,
Did she say
we'll do
that?
other,
Oh, I
we'll
don't
do.
remember.
She
Yeah.
did. She
Yeah.
did. We'll do things together. She's like, she's like, I want to do charity stuff. Like, da, da, da. Like, she was like trying to like do all the things that he does. And he literally was like, I don't expect her to do any of those things. We'll figure
They're
things
gonna
out
give
together.
blood together.
Oh, romantic.
Wait, does Tino
Blood
get
brothers.
blood?
Wait,
Does Tino get blood? Oh my gosh,
That's
he's
why I
such
fell
a
in love
good
with him.
person. He's such a good person. He gives blood.
He gives blood. I would like to see a Bachelor sanctioned paid programming of Big Tony fighting Tino's dad.
In a boxing match, and they both have boxing
Yeah, I
gloves
want like
on.
a boxing ring, just like that one
And
episode in the beginning.
everybody
After this
across
When-
the
episode,
boxing
my
ring
money's on
isn't
Tino's
looking
dad.
at Rachel. Nobody's looking at Rachel from
Dad.
across
Nobody's
the
looking at
boxing
Rachel.
ring.
And she's crying the whole time while her dad pummels Tino's tiny dad to a pulp.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. Don't give up on Tino's dad.
That's
think
true.
Tino, after this episode, I think
He
Tino's
might
dad
be
takes it.
he might be
Big Tony's a
Big
teddy
Tino
bear.
or Little Tino?
It's
I
Tony
don't know his
versus
dad's name.
Tino's dad.
I think Tino's dad's name is Joe, for the record. Big
doesn't
Tony
sound as
though
Tony
is
versus
a
Joe.
fucking softie.
He is.
He's such a teddy bear. Like, I think Tino's dad might be able to take him because he has that venom. And I don't know if I think that last season they tried to make us think that Rachel's dad had the venom, that Big Tony had the venom, and I don't think he does. He was like a fucking teddy bear this whole episode.
He puts on the appearance that he's like a tough guy, but
I just think he's a resting
bitch
face.
melted. He melted at Tino. He like loved.
He melted
Oh,
at
yeah.
Aven. He melted at Aven.
Yeah, I guess he did.
When
Yeah.
Aven handed him that fucking cigar, also follow us on Twitter because I made a really funny tweet about this. But he turned into a literal teddy bear. He was so, like, the smile that came across that man's face when he got handed that cigar. I was like, oh, he's sweet. He's gentle. There's nothing scary about this man.
Yeah. I just like I said it last week, I'll say it again. I don't know when
Say it
it
again.
happened. I don't know the moment that happened. It happened. I no
agree.
longer find Tino 1% attracactive.
Everyone feels that way.
He just like have the ick. It's official. Like, and once you have it, you can't unick it. Like, or inick it, as they would probably say.
Yes, correct.
I thought he was attractive too, and like I genuinely don't even understand a version of me that would ever think he was attractive.
Remember Rachel
It's like I'm a
literally
changed
asking
woman.
him like, "Are you feeling sweaty today?" And he's like, "No,
That
I
was
think
funny.
I'm good."
That was good.
He's like, "I
That
think
was
I'm
was
good.
funny.
Don't worry."
Rachel's funny sometimes. That was really funny.
Okay, and then one thing I want to bring up. So Rachel's mother asked Tino, like, your family hates my daughter. And Big Tony asked Tino, so what the fuck, your family hates my daughter? And Tino's like, no. And then he's kind of like, oh yeah. And then he's like, well, once they can spend a day with her at the beach, then they'll know her and love her like I do.
was like, what does
weird.
that mean?
It's so weird. But then the weirdest part, did anyone pick up on the very weirdest thing Tino said about his family? He said, all I talk to my dad about is sports.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. But
That's
that's
how
every
he-
straight
I wrote
guy.
it down.
That's
I
how
wrote it
he
down.
wrapped
Every
up the
straight guy.
conversation.
Well, to add to what you're saying, I think when he was talking to her, because he said this to Rachel's mom, he was more so saying like, I don't even know why my dad had such a strong opinion about any of this. The only thing we talk about together is football or sports, whatever.
But Tino
I was
acts like
like-
he's such a family man that knows his family so well and knows everything so well because Tino is playing the game because Tino is the #1 Bachelor fan.
Fathers and sons
This-
don't know each other. It's just a fact. They don't know each other. Fathers will pretend they know their sons more than anyone, but at the end of the day, the only thing they talk about is fucking sports or fishing or some bullshit that has no depth. That's the problem with my father. We have never talked about anything other than that. And that's what Tino and Tino's dad have. It's a relationship based on surface level bullshit that has nothing to do with who those people are. So Tino's like, I don't actually know my father. My father doesn't know me. So like this all coming out makes no sense to me in my brain because I don't know what my father was going to say anyways.
because we're not talking about the Los Angeles Rams. Like, it's like, what?
So
Good job.
to Tino's credit, I will say I definitely think he is actually surprised by his parents' reaction, because based on him saying that, he's probably just like, I really thought that they were just gonna be like, "Yay!" when
You're in
I walked in with her,
love.
but
Yeah.
because like he probably's like, my dad doesn't even fucking know me. My dad doesn't even fucking know what I enjoy, what I like in women, what I like in general, besides like whatever football team I'm like watching that week. Like that whole family is a lot to me. Not the woodchucks. Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up, Tina. I almost called you Tino.
Thanks, Tino.
I am Tino. I'm feeling
Don't say that
sweaty.
about
Maybe
yourself.
I am Tino.
I'm feeling Tino today.
I'm Tinoing. I just think you're sweaty.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, I'm Tinoing. Give me a sec. That's amazing.
I'm dead.
We're gonna use that.
We already briefly talked about this, but like, let's just give a little bit more love to Grandpa John. One thing I took away from the episode is Gabby said that he still uses a flip phone, and I was like, that is so fucking adorable and
I respect
amazing.
it.
I wish I had a flip phone.
Me too. I wish I had a flip phone.
We would all be better off if we all still had flip phones and not these smartphones.
Correct. I would know so many more things.
I think I would be a content person if I had a pink razor and not a fucking iPhone. I think I would know
Absolutely.
peace. I would go to sleep at a normal time. I would.
Yeah.
Like, life would be easier. Life would be so simple. I can't speak. I could if I had a pink razor.
See, if you had a razor, this would not be a problem.
We should all just be Grandpa John.
Phones have ruined us. Yeah.
Then last Grandpa John thing, we should all just like, he's just like, what was his like final sentence? I didn't write it down, but he was like talking about Gabby, and he was like, I just love her so much. Like,
want her to be happy.
I want someone to love me.
Yes.
Like, I want someone to love me at that level.
Yes.
I would love that.
I don't have any grandparents anymore. Oh, wait, I do.
Me neither. Oh.
I do. Sorry if you're listening. I doubt you're listening.
Hey, Adam's grandparents.
Hey, Adam's grandparents. Hope you're doing well.
You should love him more.
This is the last thing they want to listen to. I'd be so sad if they were listening to this and they heard this. Love you guys.
He didn't mean it. He's just Tinoing.
You guys are great.
I'm so
You guys
dead.
are great.
Oh my god.
So does this bring us to the teasers?
I think it does. Yeah.
I think it does. Yeah.
Bring it around. Bring it around.
I gotta make sure I'm not missing anything. Wait, real quick. I do have to mention.
Yeah, give me something else.
This was the funniest fucking thing ever. We literally get back. It's toward the end of the episode. I think it was right after the Aven and Rachel breakup, actually. And fucking Jesse goes, Rachel, I'm sorry. I don't even know what to say. And I think I died because I'm like, you're reading this off a fucking cue card, you asshole. Like,
no one could write something?
Like, are you kidding me? You wrote down, I don't know what to say? Like, shut
they're like
up.
skirting,
so embarrassing.
They're skirting the line. They're like trying to decide if they're really going to throw Rachel under the bus or not. Because
and then Jesse's constantly saying, like, this is the most dramatic thing ever. You're all going to be speechless. It's going to change everything. Shut the fuck up. I can't. Jesse, Chris Harrison was calmer, and Jesse is too much. I agree. We don't want him back, but we want someone different.
Jesse could say that the next season of The Bachelor is fully nude, and every watcher gets $100, and there are 4 bachelors, and they end up all in love. They send all the women home. Like, it could be the most insane thing ever. Jesse Palmer, it will never change my life. Like, nothing that happens on The Bachelor
won't change our lives.
Will forever change my life. You're telling me that when I'm 80 years old, hopefully on my deathbed, I don't want to reach 100.
No,
I will be sitting there thinking about The Bachelor and how it changed me.
That season of The Bachelor sculpted my life.
Like,
I don't know, that cruise that everybody got still really affecting me.
Extremely limited cruise.
It's really affecting me still. So
the app that says "Bring me champagne," even though on a cruise ship you don't have Wi-Fi, you have to pay for it. So how will they know that you press the button unless you paid for Wi-Fi?
It's all
you're gonna make me pay for Wi-Fi just to press a button when I could just go to the bar?
To get champagne. Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's a fancy cruise ship and they have free Wi-Fi, but I've never been on a cruise ship that has free Wi-Fi.
How do they know where I am? Like,
I don't think that
It
exists.
behooves me.
I don't think it's real. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
It's
I want to
so
talk to
stupid.
some software developers about this shit.
I'll get someone to do my job.
We can move on. We went on a tangent.
Let's get into the teaser. So we saw very little Gabby. We saw like basically what happens exactly after the last thing we saw of Gabby and Eric and her running away and screaming that he just wants to date me. All he said, he wants to date me. And then we don't really see anything else from them. So I just think they're gonna get engaged and it's gonna be fine. Maybe not engaged. I don't know, but they're gonna end up together. It'll be fine. Everything else we saw was Rachel and Tino going off on each other. Like clearly Rachel tells Tino something that pisses Tino off, like right before like the engagement or whatever. But I think they get engaged because the clips that they're showing in this teaser are clearly at like a happy couple house, which is what basically after the show ends, the show will send the winner and the lead off to like a house where they can meet up in like inconspicuously and date, make out, fuck, whatever they want to do, get to know each other more,
they want,
all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And clearly they're there because Tino has longer hair and a mustache, and he does something that has Rachel all up in a tizzy.
I have a guess.
I mean, he probably cheated on her, but what do you have? What's your guess?
No, I have a guess.
Iconic.
So there's this book. There's this book that Tino continues to hold in a lot of the scenes. And I think that he wrote down things he wanted to say, just like the playbook in Michelle's season, kind of. Because there's a line where Rachel says something like, well, these were all lines you were feeding me or something. So I really think that Tino is like scripted himself, kind of. So, because
Rachel says,
pay attention
I never felt
to the
so
book.
blindsided and betrayed.
I
never felt so blindsided and betrayed.
I think that's it.
And they're calling each other liars and like just like losing their mind. And like, I'm here for that. I would like to watch that television ASAP.
I think Tino is a bad actor. And I think he just kind of acted his way through this season.
Yeah. And Tino says, there is no way this is going to work out during their fight.
He probably gaslit the shit out of her for like attacking him about it. Like he tries to make some excuse probably. Yeah, no, exactly. I really think that's it. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So another couple things about like this isn't really the teaser, but this is right after the teaser was shown. We're gonna find out who the Bachelor is next week, so super excited about that. There you also see as Jesse's talking, you see he's standing right next to Gabby and Rachel, and this is during the live. Rachel looks depressed right after that teaser was shown, whereas Gabby's like smiling and waving at everyone and clapping and like looks all happy. I'm like, well, we know who's engaged.
Clearly doesn't go well. It clearly doesn't go well.
Jesse's
like, who knows who's going to have a ring on their finger? Could it be Rachel? Could it be Gabby? Could it be both of them? I sure hope so. And I'm just like,
you already know the answer.
Mind torture.
You already know.
I can't imagine being Rachel sitting through that.
No. And then Jesse says with his whole chest, he says this out loud to the camera. He goes, next week's episode is going to be history making interactive audience event.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I know all those words separately. What the fuck is that going to be all together?
It's another app where they bring you champagne.
History making interactive audience event. I don't need to be involved.
It's a Bachelor museum. They're making a Bachelor museum and it's going to happen in the audience.
Like, what the fuck? I don't need that, Jesse. Keep that to yourself. Like, I don't need to be included. I just want to watch. I want to witness.
They say some stupid shit, and then it's going to be absolutely nothing. And that's what aggravates me so much. We're going to get to next week, and it's going to be another fucking cruise or something. I'm just like...
No, it'll be this. It'll be Jesse, and he'll be like, right before they decide, like, Tino and Rachel, if they're going to get engaged, he's going to be like, raise your hand if they think they'll get engaged. And then like half the audience raises their hand. And it's like, raise your hand if you think they'll separate. Half of the audience raises their hand. History changing. Interactive.
You have guessed it right. We're bringing the cruise to you. And the fucking boat pulls up and they all get on the boat.
Cruise ship.
Oh my god.
I I'm dreading. I'm almost dreading it next week. Like I don't even want to
Yeah.
see it. I
3
don't need to know.
hours?
It's
It's
3
3
3
hours.
hours long.
hours.
That's
So
I'm
2 and
not
a
gonna
half
lie
if
to
you don't
you.
watch it live.
Live on this podcast, I don't want to watch that. That sounds awful.
Same. I will not be watching it live.
Sounds like a
I
terrible
can't-
experience.
I can't do
Ugh.
commercials with that.
I might
will
watch the
actually
first
die.
hour live, but I don't know if I can do all
Okay.
3.
Might have to chop it up in segments.
Because I'm
Ugh.
gonna try to do some live tweeting again. So if you guys follow us on Idiot Box
That-
Pod on Twitter, you'll see all the funny shit that I'm posting.
Follow us.
Follow us.
So I might do that, but yeah, I'm not looking forward to it either because it's just going to be too long. And we have 2 episodes of podcasting next week because Survivor starts as well. If I'm not
Here we
mistaken, unless I'm making that. No, it airs a week from today.
The tribe has spoken.
Here we
The
go.
tribe has fucking
Here
spoken.
we go.
So we will have 2 episodes next week for you. It's not quite sure of when they're going to be released. The new Tuesday night release for Bachelor in Paradise and Bachelorette is not very ideal for us, but we're making it work.
Nope.
And
Figured it
so
out.
we kind of have to figure out when
Oh,
we're
I have
going
something
to
else to
record.
say.
Oh,
Give it
what?
to
Go
us.
for it. Say it.
So while Reality Steve is saying, we forgot this. We're going to skirt back really quick.
Sure. Back to Hannah's Hideaway.
So Reality Steve is saying that Zach will be the Bachelor. There's also a rumor going around that our boy Justin from Katie Thurston's season, Justin with the big eyeballs, who is
Yes,
That would be
ma'am.
way better.
beautiful, might be the Bachelor because he doesn't
That would
find
be
love his second round of
way better.
Paradise. If that is the case, I will
Oh,
be
yeah.
going absolutely feral. I am so
Way
fucking
better.
in love with Justin. I will be finding a way to get inside that mansion.
He's so funny. He would make a great
He's
Bachelor.
so funny.
He has a good personality, and like
Great
that's
personality,
all
great
we
guy.
need.
Isn't he an artist? He's an artist,
artist.
right?
Yeah, he
And they can still cast like kooky girls.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
like imagine. So it's like a rose ceremony, but it's a cocktail party. A girl pulls Justin aside. They're talking. She starts spewing some crazy shit. Justin cannot contain himself. His eyeballs
eyes.
go so wide, and he goes, and like does his weird little face thing.
His facial reactions will be so iconic. They should
I
do
would
that for the
pay-
memes alone.
I would pay such big money for that.
I don't want to
pay
get my
watch
hopes
those
up.
episodes.
I genuinely don't want
It's
to get
gonna
my
be
hopes
Zach.
up because we're gonna end
It's
up
probably
with
gonna be
fucking
Zach.
Zach as the Bachelor, and I need to like not hope it's Justin. 'cause
If they are
probably
announcing
won't.
it next week, it's most likely going to be Zach because Justin is still going to be a Bachelor in Paradise, and I doubt they would. I mean, they announced Clayton super early, before Michelle's season even aired, but I don't see them announcing Justin before Bachelor in Paradise even airs. Like I truly doubt that almost. I want it,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. me too.
But anyway,
Okay.
yeah, we'll have 2 episodes next week, and we would love if you guys would follow us on all of our social media, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at IdiotBoxPod, and please like and follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Thank you guys for being here. Or
Au revoir.
else.
Au revoir.
Charles
Bye.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Bye. 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 Bye.